everyone. Welcome to HOA Fight Club. I'm Raylene Schifano, and today I'm going to discuss the question, is condo ownership affordable? There's a lot of middle housing crises across the United States. Washington State has a huge middle housing crisis because the average home price right now is over $800,000. So most people that are first-time home buyers, or they are low income, or even the average income people, it's really hard to afford a home in Seattle right now. So they're trying to discuss whether we can turn apartments into condominiums and let people buy those for a cheaper amount, make it affordable housing. So I was asked the question by the Department of Commerce of Washington State is condo ownership affordable? So what I have to say is this is why I feel that condominiums are not affordable for anyone, not your family, and even HOAs, but condos are even worse. So let's go over some of the things that cost the assessment. So first of all, condos have the regular assessments monthly. It takes care of all the stuff that's supposed to be for the common areas, which in condominiums is anything that's outside the airspace of your home. So you don't own the walls, you don't own the plumbing and all that kind of stuff that's in the walls. So you have to be really careful and read your condo declaration and bylaws to find out why and what your condominium assessments are going to. So, and you got to remember that when it comes to a budget, the board is supposed to set the budget every year, and the homeowners are supposed to be able to vote it down if they all. You have to have 51% of the ownership to show up to vote it down. Of course, it should be the opposite way, but they have the right to pass a budget no matter what if you don't have that 51% of the ownership. So that means they can increase a $200 monthly assessment to an $800 monthly assessment if they feel that's what's necessary. So there's no cap on the percentage they can increase the budget every year. So then we come to special assessments. A special assessment for a low-income family or a first-time home buyer, they move in and then the board decides there's a $50,000 special assessment, or in some cases, it's a $6 million special assessment. Right now in Florida, because of the Surfside thing, they're having a lot of condominiums inspected, and they're finding out that the boards didn't take care of these buildings. Uneducated volunteers, they're not contractors and that kind of stuff, and they're not putting the money where it's supposed to go. And it's really hard with some of these declarations that don't allow the members of the association to do what's best. You have to have this vote or that vote. Now, and some reasons you want to have everybody vote for it, but a lot of the things with repairs and special assessments, we have to have somebody monitoring these buildings and inspecting them so that they don't fall into disrepair. The state of Washington requires everybody to maintain and restore, but that's not happening in condo associations. And I figure if we had all these condos inspected in Washington State, there would probably be a majority of them that are not up to code. Boards take shortcuts, they don't get permits, they aren't having anybody look over their stuff. So the reserve study people don't report anything. They're really, our reserve studies are not being used, and that's a big waste of money in my opinion. So that's a special assessment. So nobody can afford that $6 million special assessment. Will cost a homeowner, $1,000 more a month or $2,000 more a month. Are they going to be able to afford that if they're on a set budget? Seniors, they're set on a budget they don't get increases in their raises and things like that. So having a huge increase in their dues makes it unaffordable, and which means they'll fall past due because they won't be able to afford that. Let's look at the next thing. So in Washington State, I did see that there was a condo owner that had water intrusion in her home, and the board is responsible for that. But what they did in the bylaws was they changed them to say that the deductible could be a $50,000 deductible, and the homeowners have to pay the deductible, which is not fair because it's a common area. Our assessments go for that insurance, they pay for everything. And I think $50,000 deductibles are out of control. And I think that because condo owners are not under the Fair Insurance Act of Washington State, they don't have any protections when it comes to insurance. When there's damages done, both insurance companies, the homeowners and the condo associations, should be forced to come in and fight it out. But that's not how it works in HOA. The board is the adjuster. They get to decide what gets fixed, how it gets fixed, and where it gets fixed, and when it gets fixed. It could be 2 years before water intrusion. It could be 10 years before water intrusion gets repaired, because with no oversight, those boards can abuse people. They don't have to do the repairs. If I could just email the attorney general's office and say, hey, they're not spending the money correctly, can somebody look into it? Then we would have more governance and everybody would be under the right things. And it's just not working. So we all know that. We all know my opinion on how the government has given away the power of the municipality. So let's keep that in mind, and we'll just keep going on, because I do have solutions for these things. Reserve studies should be reporting. Those reserve people, they should be reporting the damages. When the developer builds it, they can have their little declaration for that part, because that declaration does not protect the association or the members. It protects the attorneys and the declarant. So we should have a set bylaws and a set declaration, and because the rules can be adjusted for the property, but those two things should be, your rights should be in those, and they shouldn't be able to give away your constitutional rights, and they should not be able to give away the power of the municipality. So we want to make sure that apartment buildings, so part of the thing is condo conversions would be an apartment being converted into a condo. Well, if there's no inspections and no permits, and the condo or the apartment building is already having issues, when that homeowner buys into that property, now they're going to have a special assessment at some point, because if you turn it into a condo, it has to be repaired and restored. Well, unless we require some sort of governance over the people that are, pushing these new these old apartments into condos, we'll have some, we have to have governance. It's just not going to work. What's going to happen is the board's going to charge a special assessment, and the homeowners are not going to be able to pay, and the board will foreclose in 90 days. That's how it works. So with the condo laws being so not there to protect homeowners, and there is no protections for the homeowners. They're held responsible no matter what. The only people that are held harmless are the professional agents, the attorneys, the property managers, and the board of directors making the poor decisions. Everything has to be done in good faith, and that's what's not happening. People are not being reasonable. The other thing is let's talk about fines. If a homeowner gets fined and they are on a budget each month, and they get fined $50, and the board says we're going to accelerate your fines and fees, and let's say in 3 months the board's got $30,000 worth of fines and fees on this person, how are they supposed to afford to live that? When boards are allowed to fine people that way, it's a way to there's no fair collections. They're not doing it to be reasonable. They're doing it to be vindictive. And the professional agents have taught them that fining people into foreclosure is much better than just doing what they're supposed to do. The lobbyists in Washington State have created laws that are better. They protect the trades group, and the trades group, they admit it. They admit that homeowners should have their own protections, because they're not protecting them. They want to be able to fine and foreclose in 90 days. And that's how the attorneys make money, is by getting people to find or past due assessments, and then putting them so far past due that they can never catch up. $30,000 in 3 months, which I do have a client right now that's what they're doing. They're putting these accelerated fees, and they're actually changing the declaration. They changed the declaration to take out the dispute resolutions. The board cannot change a declaration without the vote of the homeowners, and it's blatantly in the meeting minutes that this board is changing the rules and the fining schedule and accelerating fees. That's what they're changing. And dispute resolution, why is dispute resolution a bad thing? Why do the attorneys and property managers teach boards that dispute resolution is not a good thing, and they should take it out of the governing document? So that is kind of we're profiting from your demise type thing. They don't the attorneys of HOA do not care about you as a person. They will blame you, they will delay, deny, deflect, they will hurt you. That is their goal. They're not there to bring anybody into compliance. They're there to fine and foreclose. That's what they lobby for. So if you ask me if condo ownership is affordable, my answer is no. HOA and condos are not affordable. Condominiums that are going to be changed from apartments to condos are not affordable because of the special assessments, the high insurance rates, the special, paying the deductibles. If you're fined, what are you going to do? If somebody's fined and they don't have the money to fight the attorney, and remember, the homeowner's responsible for both sides, all at the beginning. The board doesn't have to wait until you're found, whether you're found guilty or not. They get to start charging you attorney fees right off the bat. So there's no hope for the homeowner. This puts them in jeopardy, and we have to change that. Look, there should be no attorney fees. We can use the court system, the small claims courts, and get rid of these attorneys that are charging these $500 an hour. It hurts the association to pay attorney fees. That should not be in our budgets, to pay attorneys. What should be in our budget is to repair, restore, maintain. Those are the things that should be in the budget. And allowing boards to fine people and then foreclose for those fines is very unconstitutional, and it's unethical, and it should be unlawful. So that's what I'm pushing for in Washington State. We should have a set of standard governing documents. We should create a Bill of Rights and a homeowners union, and we should create standards that boards shall follow. Attorneys and property managers should not be the police state for these communities. They need to utilize the small claims court system, and that will give the state of Washington an influx of fees, or of collections. So they'll be able to charge people for this at a $50 amount. It doesn't put either the association or the homeowner in jeopardy for fines and fees, and they can have an actual impartial tribunal take care of these situations. And the courts can always come up with an HOA court if they really needed to. They should delete the board's ability to charge late fees and interest rates and past due. It's just, why are we trying to put these people into foreclosure? Why are we trying to put them in so far in debt that they can never survive after the fact? So we should have governance over these communities and make sure that the homeowners are happy. The homeowners should have the right to call the Attorney General's office and say, my board's not following the governing documents. Can you please investigate them? And all the attorney general's office has to do is investigate. And you know what? I would help them do that, because I try to look at all the governing documents first. That is what I do. I don't read into it. I don't try to force people into foreclosure. I'm doing this for free so we can keep everybody housed in the state of Washington and across the United States. So this is why condominiums are not affordable. And if we put thousands of low income, middle income, first time home buyers that are uneducated, they don't know anything about condo ownership. And these are first time home buyers, and you're going to put them in something that they will regret for the rest of their lives, because they'll lose their homes. Then they won't be able to rent an apartment. Their credit will be ruined, and they'll be in bankruptcy. And that leads to homelessness in the state of Washington and across the nation. Again, we have to worry about keeping everyone housed, taking away the lobbyist's right to, and the attorney's right to find and foreclose. Look, we can come up with a better solution than that, than putting people in the streets for a $50 fine or $1,000 past due assessments. We should be setting up funds to help these people stay current on their dues, instead of allowing these boards and attorneys and property managers to take everything, to take a homeowner's sanctuary. That's the family sanctuary. So let's try to be better and take care of everyone across the United States, and let's keep everyone housed. And that's how we do it in condos. All right, I'll see you on the next one.